Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love. Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Welcome to Bed, Love, Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, relationships, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. I'm Miss April.
I'm Jen. What's up?
Episode 152, Turn the Lights Down Low.
The effects of gaslighting.
Thank you. It was loading. I couldn't remember the rest.
Group effort. So, it's been a couple weeks. We had fun last week with Mr. Charles McFall. That was cool. He's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Anything new going on in real life or TV life that's relevant?
Relevant to gaslighting.
Or in general.
Oh.
Or just daily dishish.
Not much going on. Summertime's coming up. That's exciting.
Cuffing season's over, I guess.
Does cuffing season mean people like hang out with each other because it's winter and it's boring? I don't really have a good definition of that in my head.
I think cuffing season is where people start to settle down and hibernate for the winter, and they want someone to be warm with ish.
Ah, gotcha.
So cuffing, handcuffs, I guess. I don't remember. We did it a long time ago, but that's how I look at it. And I think it's just they start to find a boyfriend.
And then summer,
girlfriend.
Everybody's outside hanging out, going places. So it's like, all right, I'm done with that.
It's hoe time.
Yeah.
Allegedly. I mean, unless you're a millennial and then you don't go anywhere.
They say.
I put an article up on Facebook. A lot of people I guess no one liked it. Well, a few people liked it, but nobody read it.
Mm-hmm.
It was that Japan has a restaurant where single people can eat alone.
Oh yeah,
and not be bothered.
Mm-hmm.
It was this has reached 52 people. I was like, damn, a lot of people are apparently very interested in eating by them damn selves.
Wow.
And then I put a poll up about whether or not people wash their legs, because apparently it's it's all the rage.
Yeah.
Myself and someone else voted. I do wash my legs now, but I didn't before. They were just clean by proxy.
If you use washcloths, that's the thing. Do you use a washcloth or
no? White people don't use washcloths.
Washcloth.
I don't think was that Chris Rock who said that.
I don't remember.
Jason was my brother was he was like, oh my god, it's so true. I was like, why don't we use washcloths? We used to. That's really
funny.
Strange.
Because how could you stop all of a sudden? I don't need a washcloth.
I don't know.
She said we used to.
They became inconvenient at one point. You know why? Because probably they came out with loofahs and stuff, and and then no one wants a loofah after X amount of time, and then you're just oh, my hands are good.
And then it was this thing where I saw a bunch of people under this thing about do you whatever, and a bunch of people were saying they use one washcloth a day. They don't reuse towels the next day. They just throw it in the hamper, and people was like, well, I have a washer and dryer in my house, so it's and I'm just there probably was a time you didn't have a washer and dryer in your house. Right. You were using a different towel every day. You didn't just hang it and then somebody was it smells if you after one. I'm no, it doesn't. If you hang it up properly,
if you wash your ass properly,
right? If you hang a towel on a hook or you let it air dry, it's not gonna smell. If you ball it up,
right? If you leave it on the floor,
leave it wet and balled up and damp, well, yeah, it will smell.
Blavity put out an article today. It was oh god, I wish I could remember the exact title. It was something about first not washing legs, and now this how gentrification has brought rats to the hood. I was what the fuck? That's such a stretch. God. But it's funny. I was haha. I found it funny. Some people will be offended, but get over it. I was trying to figure out if Sin Santana and Joe Budden were back together, but I don't know what's going on with that. I know she's doing something. I was looking at all people's relationship drama on Instagram with my insomnia. I don't know. She was twerking again. I'm just what she wanted to be doing. She's so happy in her natural habitat. Good for her.
But the new is this Love and Hip Hop New York over? Like
it's over for now, but I think they're gonna
the season's
over. Yeah, but they didn't touch on the cheating thing, and apparently he didn't cheat. It was like that model girl allegedly dated Joe Budden's cousin, and they had broken up, but she had stayed friends with Joe, and he was in Miami, and she was just like showing him where to hang. Who knows? I mean, they had their issues from the door. So I don't know.
And Joe Budden is very me as a guy. Like he's not a kind person or a good person deep down inside somewhere. But he also seems like his emotional intelligence is just nowhere near relationship level.
No.
Like he doesn't seem like he'll try to understand anything you're saying. He just seems like he's like, I don't do that. Like whatever you're talking about, whatever you're trying to like sit me down and talk about or whatever, I'm not.
And then they're just like talking like, yeah, Sin was saying we weren't having enough sex, so I figured we'd go away for the weekend. I'm like, all right, who told you to say that? What writer wrote that for you? Because before you were like, I ain't about this life, I'm an old man. What? But he's a gaslighter. Because
absolutely,
I saw like episodes where he was like basically saying like, you're depressing, and she was like, I am. Well, she said she told him that she was depressed, but he was like kind of blaming everything else on her. Like I have to work, like what do you want from me? So I was like,
in other words, why are you bothering me when you know I have to work?
Right.
Why are you even bringing anything up?
Right. And it's the way people word things where you're like, oh, maybe I am bothering him. That's gaslighting.
Or maybe because I don't work. And
right. I need to let him be.
I shouldn't complain because I don't work. So yeah.
So gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation that seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a targeted individual or in members of a targeted group, making them question their own memory, perception, and sanity. That was like a pretty deep explanation. The sanity thing bothers me,
especially the sow seeds of doubt. That's really serious. Like
that's poetic. I like it.
But it's almost like it sounds premeditated. Sow seeds of doubt to me sounds like you planning on a way to make me crazy. Think I'm crazy.
I was really interested to hear Charles say last week that he knows now that he was gaslighting his girlfriend, now wife, but he didn't realize he was doing it then. But the fact that you can admit to it is a really big step because then you know how to correct yourself.
Right.
Because some people don't necessarily maybe know that they're doing it. And they're just like, that's their defense mechanism is to like put the blame on everyone else.
Yeah.
Because how many times do we encounter people and they're like, this person did that and that person did that and don't take any responsibility for what the outcome of their situation is.
Or you tell them something that they did that bothers you, and they come back with, well, if you wouldn't have.
Right.
If you wouldn't have said, if you wouldn't have done, but never acknowledging what you first put out there.
Right.
Like, you hurt my feelings when. And the answer shouldn't be, well, you hurt my feelings when.
Right.
Okay, but you didn't say nothing.
Right.
I'm saying something.
I was reading these, and I was like, yo, my old supervisor, I had a bad experience with a supervisor this week. I was like, that bitch was gaslighting me the whole week, the whole month. I'm like, and I sat there and listened to it. I was thinking I was a bad clinician. She had me thinking I didn't know shit. I was like, this bitch, gaslighting hoe. Anyhow, do you think you've ever been gaslit?
I'm pretty sure. It was more so that even by like clients doing case management, how clients are like, I don't want to go now because you were late.
Right.
No, you wouldn't have wanted to go if I was on time.
Right.
Like working with, I think I guess, working with borderline people, people with mental illness, I mean, they probably do it without realizing it. But I feel like a lot of times, like things, like I guess when patients were decompensating or whatever, or they just didn't want to progress it was always like, well, you didn't do this. You're my case manager. You didn't do that.
They made you feel incompetent. Like if you couldn't get them services somewhere because of their own, they forgot paperwork or forgot something, or they just didn't qualify. For me. You were the worst case manager ever.
Right. You haven't done anything for me.
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, what the fuck have you done for yourself?
Right. And that's really, that's really a big part of burnout when somebody, when you're in the profession where somebody constantly gaslighting you. You're like, I can't do it no more. Mm-hmm. I can't come to work for 8 hours and be blamed for somebody's problems all day.
Right.
And that's kind of, as a case manager or social worker, that could happen a lot. Like, patients just like, well, if you would have, or if you hadn't, or, that tends to happen a lot in that profession. So definitely, I feel like probably in relationships too, like dating older guys, I heard, well, you're young, so you don't understand.
Right.
Or you're younger, so, you expect this, or you don't get it, or, I kind of think that's a form of it, because you're trying to tell me you're not wrong because I'm younger than you. Basically, I'm wrong about you being wrong just because I'm younger. Mm-hmm. But I think I think people who do that purposely, like they know, I think some people are purposely trying to manipulate you into thinking that they haven't done any wrong and it's you. I think these people do target you. I think they do know your triggers. I think your supervisor knows that her being condescending was a trigger for you.
Right.
She knows that you really are that's not going to be easy for you to accept somebody talking to you like that. I think she knew that was your trigger and she just laid on it.
Right.
Until it was just like, lady, that's it.
She got my number early then because that bitch was going in. I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think she knew that would trigger you because if people, she probably do shit all day, so she knows.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in relationships before where like the guys have said like some off-color shit. Brooklyn probably was a gaslighter. Mm-hmm. I don't remember things he said. He was just blatantly mean sometimes.
Just the meowing. That's gaslight.
She's like, he gaslit all your friends. You're like, there's a man meowing in the fucking house and they're making me feel I'm crazy. No, he'd be like, I don't love you, but if I loved anyone, it should be you, but I just don't know how to love. And then you're like sitting here thinking like, is there something wrong or like something? I really was something wrong with him. Mm-hmm. But you're like, I'm doing everything.
And what am I not doing?
What am I not doing?
Yeah.
Like what made the girl in Brooklyn so awesome that, you still text her sometimes, but you live here with me and apparently it's not good enough. Mm-hmm. So, it's a serious issue. I see it happen in relationships. I'm working with a girl now. And she's like, oh, me and my boyfriend broke up. I was like, why? She's like, because he said I'm cheating on him. I was like, well, did you? She's like, no. I was just hanging out with my friends. He doesn't like when I'm not with anyone but him. She's like, I feel really bad. I'm like, he's gaslighting you. What's wrong with you? Like, he's controlling you. Like, he's manipulative.
Into thinking you're doing something that makes him feel inadequate.
Like, he was like, oh, I'm lonely. You should have been here with me. No, you should be living life. You should be out going and doing what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So, you see it happen in like movies and shows, but it happens happen between parents. It can happen between, child-parent relationship, boss-you relationship, boyfriend-girlfriend, girlfriend-girlfriend, boyfriend-boyfriend. So they say, the article that I pulled up from Psychology Today is 11 warning signs of gaslighting. They tell blatant lies. Like, it's a lie. And you're like, I don't know about that. They deny everything they ever said, even if you have proof. So, like, you heard someone say, X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, I was never there. Right. I've never been there before.
Well, that's not what I said.
You're like,
it kind of is verbatim.
But it's exactly what you said.
Verbatim, not my interpretation. Those are your words.
They use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. So they say, like, people, if you have kids, they'll use your kids against you. Mm-hmm. They'll attack the foundation of your being, it says. That's some deep shit.
Mm-hmm.
They wear you down over time. That bitch sure as hell did. But that's definitely a factor. Like, the first couple times, you know, your facade might be strong enough to, like, withstand the little, you know, misconceptions that they're saying. But after a while, you might just be like, yo, am I fucking crazy? Because this person keeps saying one thing and doing another.
Mm-hmm.
Their actions do not match their words. So they can say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and then be, you know, cheating or hitting you and telling you they're hitting you because they love you, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And
or I'm cheating because you don't. You don't do blah blah blah.
Right.
Or I need.
I
blah, blah,
I have
blah.
to talk to these women because
Mm-hmm.
you don't pay enough attention to me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
They throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. So it says the person or the entity that is cutting you down is telling you you don't have value and is now praising you for something you did. They'll say something like, well, maybe they aren't so bad. And, oh, you're thinking maybe they aren't so bad, but yes, they are. So I'm trying to think of like I guess like they'll buy you flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, oh, you were so pretty. Here's some flowers.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, you were up like freaking out because you had no idea where they were last night or you thought they were cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Gaslighting. They know confusion weakens people. How many times? Maybe not. I mean, maybe it's just me. How many times have you been talking to someone and you're like so passionate about what they either said to you or did to you and how, like, whatever it was, and you're just like, no, this is like what you said that night or blah blah blah, and he'll be like, no, I didn't mean, like, whatever the case may be. I can't think of like prime examples. My boyfriend's not a good gaslighter, thank God. So I haven't had that experience in a while, although sometimes when he's tired he gets like crabby and says shitty things, and then I'm like, you're gaslighting, stop. You're fucking tired, it has nothing to do with me.
But somebody could like say something that'll get you riled up and then try to change what they said.
Right.
And then you kind of back off like, is that what they said? Because now they trying to change it up.
Right.
Like you completely heard it wrong. And you knew that was not what you heard because you wouldn't have been wilding out if they actually said what they trying to say they said and not the actual words.
I feel like I have a friend like this. I feel like sometimes like they'll tell me things and then they'll be like, that's not what I said. And I'm like, think it is.
I don't know what it is when you can hear things that, like, I know a photographic memory is when you can see things and remember them, but when he can hear things
like
and
audible
remember it exactly, I don't know what that is, but there's sometime I can tell you what you said word for word. Like on Ghost, he wants me to tell you what he's saying word for word. like
Molly girl, you in trouble.
Sometimes I can say verbatim the actual words you said. So sometimes it's just like, no, that's not. I'm not telling you what I think you said. I'm telling you what you said. Like,
right.
And when people try to change it around, like, no, that may not be what you meant, but it's what you said. It's two different things.
Number 8 is they project. You're a cheater. You use drugs. You're lazy. And then they do it so often that you start to defend yourself.
Right. When shit you know you don't do.
When you know you don't do that shit. You're like, what?
I'm not a cheater. I've been faithful to everybody I've ever been with. Why are you doing this?
Like, you're a bad friend. Like, I'm not a bad friend.
How am I a bad friend? How?
Right, like.
Every time you call me, I'm there for you. How?
And then you sit there and defend it. You just look fucking crazy. They try to align people against you. I've seen this happening. I'm watching it happen right now. It's quite amazing. People will go drop seeds. Oh, you know what April said? Can you believe April did that?
Yeah.
Then everyone's like, fuck April.
Meanwhile,
you're just minding your goddamn business.
And it doesn't have anything it's probably not the way you said it or meant it.
Right.
And they've totally twisted it around to make you look bad.
It says a gaslighter is a constant liar. That's so scary.
It really is.
It's really fucking terrifying. That was number 9. Number 10 is they tell you or others that you're crazy. I've heard that before.
People who gaslight sound like people with borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, I
think there's probably like a little thin line there.
I think there's a thick line. I mean, not even a very thin line. Yeah. It's invisible, in fact. I said that one. And that was it. There was a follow-up article. Our gaslighters are aware of what they do. Some do, some don't, I think. And they do say that there's life after gaslighting. But I guess it's a matter of like figuring out how to repair yourself, because think about how much damage that actually does. So even if like you do find a way to like break away from that person, like you find that you're like so absolutely damaged that you're like, am I crazy? Did I do this? Did I do that? Am I a bad friend?
I think people who do that probably need some serious therapy.
Right.
To actually live life without doing it, to stop doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you carry that into other relationships, and that person may not be a gaslighter. And they're like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what?
I think people who do it might have a hard time not doing it.
I saw you have some notes here.
Oh, yeah. Like, I thought about people. I think when people, like, I think to a certain extent it's okay to, like, spank your children if you're spanking them for what they did wrong.
Right.
But I think people who hit their kids because they're angry and, like, basically telling the kid you got hit, you're getting hit because you did something. When in reality, you're not really hitting the kid because they did something. You're hitting because they're angry. I think that's a form of gaslighting.
I got that.
Because it's almost like you're telling your kid it's your fault you're getting hit, but technically the kid hasn't done anything. You're just kind of hitting the kid because you're angry about something else, and you might be taking it out on them. But it's like, you know, well, I'm hitting you because you did this. You're probably not hitting them for doing something so small. You're hitting them because you got anger problems. And you're making them seem like it's their fault they're getting hit, but it's not.
That's a good point. I mean,
I think pimps are master gaslighters.
Oh, yeah. You're beautiful. You're lovely. They come back. Where the fuck's my money? You're a piece of shit.
You just made me beat the shit out of you because you ain't have the money you should have had.
Right.
You didn't turn as many tricks as you should have turned. That's why I beat you, because they're like the masters. And the cult leaders. Master gaslighters.
Look at Kanye. No, I mean, I do think he's like starting a little cult though.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But no, definitely look at who is it? Look at fucking Ted Bundy. I love that documentary. So good. So this is like my fascination of the month, by the way. Stay tuned, you're gonna know more. I watched the movie with Zac Efron. Yeah, he's hot, whatever. And like he's like behind bars. Like he had a girlfriend and he's calling her up and he's like, but I love you, babe, and you can't believe these things they said about me, they're lying about me, and this and that, and then he's fucking escaping from jail.
Wow.
He gaslighted people in the jail. He became his own lawyer, and like they let him have all these privileges because he was just charming. Wow. I'm like, why? Because I was like, why the fuck is he in the library using a public phone? And then was like, because I was like, I'm gonna be my own lawyer. Don't worry about me. I'm just gonna sit here and read these books. And then he was like, Your Honor, I object. And like, they were like sitting there joking around with him. The judge was even joking around with him. Wow. And if you read what he did to these women, I would be like, fuck you. You can't be your own lawyer. Yeah. You get a public defender like every fucking buddy else, and you're guilty. But he had women calling him at jail, coming to the jail, free Ted. Theodore's the man, like one-on-one, like just crazy shit. And like he would just like wink and smile and these women's panties would drop, and he was a mass fucking serial killer. Like, and he did terrible things. Oh, like, and I don't know if like he was having out-of-body experiences when he did it, but I don't know. I think he finally confessed to like the one person he loved, like some of the things he did.
Wow.
And she was like, whatever. But yeah, cult leaders, serial killers.
I think people who are misogynists, I think they try to turn it around. Like the things that women go through are kind of your own fault. Like, and they try to blame feminism for, like, they try to turn being a feminist around as like you trying to be a man, or you're trying to like take manhood away from men and be a man, and it has nothing to do with feminism. Has nothing to do with being a man.
It doesn't even mean that you hate men,
right? It has nothing to do. It's all about that's why it's called a feminist. It's about women. It's woman centered. It has absolutely nothing. And somebody put it really well. I was watching something, and somebody put it reading something. Somebody put it well when they say equality. Women want to be equal. Being equal is not about being the same. It's about value. People want to be valued. I don't want to be the same as a man. I'm not saying don't open my door or don't. But if we got the same education and the same skills, yes, I want to be paid the same amount, because my value is the same as yours at this job.
Right.
But I feel like men who take that and turn it around as though there's something wrong with you, because you feel like you should be treated as a better because you're a woman, and they turn that around like there's something wrong with you because being a feminist is something wrong with you. You're just trying to be masculine. You're just trying to, say you don't need a man. I think that's super gaslighting. It's basically telling women there's something wrong with you.
Right.
For being women centered and wanting women to get ahead in life and not be second class citizens. It's the same thing as, I feel like I put race apologists, because I feel like there's people that really sit there and try to make you like let's say there's a room full of people mixed watching a police brutality video, watching the documentary 13th. There are people that's going to sit there and tell you racism does not exist. It's over. Slavery is over. Yeah, there's racists out there, but racism doesn't exist.
Okay.
And it's really people who do not think racism is systemic. Just don't break the law. Just stay out of jail. So, you're saying there's no innocent people in jail. You're saying there's nobody in jail. There's not poor people in jail that got 5 years for something that somebody with money wouldn't have spent a day. You saying that's not happening. But I feel like race apologists gaslight all the time. This is your imagination. There's no racism. It's just a cop beating up a black kid, but he's not racist.
You're being crazy.
He would have beat a white kid too. It's like people, and maybe the cop would have, but the chances of that is probably slim.
Right.
But I feel like people who try to convince you there's no racism, convince you that feminists are crazy women that's trying to be men, convince you that women are less than men. Like, these people are, I'm sure they gaslight in their relationships. And gaslighting, it's really a kind of a fancy way of saying brainwashed. Basically. I mean, I feel like absentee parents sometimes. Well, your mother said, or your dad said, or your grandma did this, so they wouldn't let me see you, or you could have called me too. Things like that. Like, even some friends say that. I haven't heard from you. I haven't heard from you either.
There's a list here of everyday gaslighting, and it says, as an adult trying, blah, 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 rewind. An adult says to a crying child, "There's no reason to be sad. Give us a nice smile." A partner says, "That's too hard for you. I'll do it." I didn't ask for you to do it. I got this. A friend snaps, "I'm not angry. Why are you starting a fight?" A narcissist reacts with so much contempt when you assert any need that you feel like the selfish one. After being called on a racist or sexist comment, the speaker says, "Just kidding," or "You're too sensitive," or you're looking for a reason to be offended. Those are pretty interesting.
You're playing the race card.
Yeah, we don't really realize that that's gaslighting. They give like some of the same emotional vertigo. Ooh. You have a sense of dizziness or no place to stand when you try to make sense of the situation. I've been there. It's saying that you should keep a record. And then it says, breathe into doubt. If you notice any signs, allow compassion for yourself. This is a really good article, actually. Listen within. So when something's not right.
You know when somebody trying to pull something over, basically pull the wool over your eyes, as my mother would say.
So what they're saying is, like, notice like what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something in me feels anxious, and then the way they put it is, I say hello to that.
Mm-hmm.
My belly feels tight. I say hello to that. I don't know what to feel, and I say hello to that.
So my women's intuition tell me you bullshitting.
Hello.
Hello to that.
And, I think that's a really good way to put things. But and this also says to seek support and to rebuild self-trust. Because I do get, like, the part where you're just like, I mean, in my situation with my supervisor, I kind of was, like, sitting there like, maybe this isn't a profession for me. Maybe I just need to go open my cafe and fuck this whole thing. You know? But, you know, then I went to work that night, and, like, the little boy who hasn't talked to me in, like, weeks, like, sat down and, like, kind of spoke to me. Like, we had a conversation. He said he would meow for no and bark for yes. And we had a whole conversation, and he answered all my yes or no questions like that. And, like, he was actually engaging with me. I was like, fucking finally.
Right.
And, like,
for him, that's progress.
For him, that's progress.
Yeah.
You guys are probably like, what? That sounds boring. But I was like, holy shit, we're talking.
Right.
We're going somewhere.
In his own way.
Right. I'm asking him serious questions about his feelings, and he's answering yes or no. Does this make you feel happy? Does this make you feel safe? Are you scared of this? Yes, no. He's like, woof, meow. Yeah, he's like, woof, meow. You know, and then I asked him, like, if he could try to sleep by himself, and he's like, woof. I was like, okay. And he shook his head yes. I'm like, yeah, we're getting somewhere. And Mom was like, did he talk? I was like, yeah. He did. He absolutely did. And I was like, okay, fuck that bitch. Like, I let her drive me crazy all day. I'm not gonna do that. You know, and I think that's, like, the most important part of gaslighting is, like, once you realize it's happening, get a sense of yourself.
It's up to you to either keep dealing with it or just nip it right in the bud right then and there.
Like, I was explaining to my client today that her boyfriend's gaslighting her, and she was like, I don't see it. I was like, most don't. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you that.
And I'm not gaslighting you. I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you that these are the signs. Is like, you know, you leave his house feeling bad all the time, like you've done something wrong, when you're not. She's like, well, I did go hang out with a boy, but we were there with, like, a group of friends. I'm like, did you kiss him? Did you hug him? Did you have sex with him? No. I'm like, then you didn't cheat.
Right.
She's like, yeah, but he doesn't like me hanging out with this other, like, with this person or whatever. I'm like, that's control. And she's like, well, am I controlling him because I don't want him hanging out with this person? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it does go both ways.
Yeah, both toxic as fuck. How about that?
Right. I'm just like, there could be two guilty parties in this bitch.
I think, too, it's a reason, like, especially with relationships, is a reason to write down your goals, your aspirations, what you believe in. Just write these things down in case you got to go back and remind yourself and read them. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. And I thought about the saying, I think it's Shakespeare, to thy own self be true.
Yeah.
Is that Shakespeare? And it's like, if you tell yourself the truth, can't nobody else tell you no different.
Right.
So if somebody's trying to tell you you're this, you do that, this is your fault, it's totally okay and good to be like, no, it's not. No, it's not my fault. No, that's not who I am. No, that's not what I do. No, that's not me, what you're talking about. So I think people who do this probably target low self-esteem, codependent people. Not all the time. A regular person can get caught up in this, especially if can get caught up in somebody gaslighting them, especially if you love the person. You could be like, maybe they didn't mean it like that. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe I just set them off this time, whatever. But I guess as you get older, as you really learn yourself and learn who you are as a person, it's you know, it's okay to be like, no.
And it may not happen in your 20s. It may not even happen in your early 30s. Right. Eventually, it's just going to happen. But, like, I think it took me a long time to, like, know who I was and what I wanted. Like, I thought I knew who I was. But I think I was, like, who I thought I was or who I thought I wanted to be. And then, like, it was like, okay, I have a really good grasp on who I am, what I want. And then you kind of don't accept anything less. And even if it hurts, you're like, this sucks. Like, you thought you were really hot. But you're fucking, like, making me crazy, and I don't want to deal with it. Like, no, I don't want you to constantly tell me this or that or whatever the case may be. I think the super ghoster, your favorite person, Leon, was a noble, was a gaslighter. Like, everything was, like, his way. Everything was perfect his way. I didn't know this. You don't know how to cook chicken. What? You ate it last time.
And anything you say as anything you said, like, it's just, you're wrong.
Right.
Anything is wrong. I mean, anything anybody say is
you
wrong.
You guys heard him on the podcast. So.
Yeah, anything anybody says is wrong.
Right.
Like, when you posted, it was like, well, kind of a joke, kind of serious about men. This is how you can prevent abortions.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody, I don't know, say his name.
RV, hey, RV.
Okay. RV commented,
I was going to bring that up, too.
And I'm just like.
I said, would you like to elaborate, RV?
Right. What's oh boy? That is true? Or that you don't think men should prevent abortions? Or what's oh boy? Like, I'm like, okay.
Think about it. The men who are in Congress or whatever they are in are like gaslighting us women to believe that they have to control our bodies.
That's somebody on my list. The government. Number one gaslighters of all fucking time is the government. Honestly, they really truly are. The government will make you think that they're telling you what's right.
Right.
And like, that don't sound right. I don't think I need to pay taxes for that.
I don't think I need to get another measles shot.
I don't think I'm above the poverty line. I'm pretty sure that I shouldn't have to take an entire paycheck to pay daycare. I'm pretty sure I can't live like that.
Right.
Like, they think a month of daycare is like pretty much a whole check for me, and they think I can afford that.
Right.
So if I pay daycare and rent, we're gonna sit in the dark and starve. Like, how is that possible? How is that? Like, what if I live by myself? That's my thing. And I pay $1,200 rent. So one check for daycare, one check for rent. I got a couple $100 left. Like, what we doing?
My friend is in a Section 8 apartment with her mom, and they were looking for, like, another place because her mom has, like, CHF, and they have to go upstairs now, and a whole bunch of other shit, and, like, there's something, like, not calculated right with the PSE&G bill, but the owner of the building won't let anyone in the bottom. So she called Section 8, and they were like, oh, if you want a 2-bedroom apartment, you're going to have to go to, like, Irvington or something. They were like, there's a housing crisis, and even though you're 2 grown adults, you guys don't qualify for a 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
I was like, Jesus Christ. You're going to sleep in the living room like a homeless person?
Yeah, on a futon.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, how big is this housing crisis? And don't you think that should be addressed as opposed to, like, whether or not you want to give me birth control?
That's crazy. Right. Those are things that, especially when it's about population control and votes in this area, these people don't give a rat's ass about your fetus. They do not.
No.
It's about population controlling who gets populating and who gonna vote and who the population gonna increase in this area. And these people don't. Anytime the government is trying to tell you what to do about something, it's about money. It's never about the benefit of those individuals. It's not. These people don't care. Especially Republicans have always voted for less government. So all of a sudden now but when it's convenient, the government's making decisions. Like, come on. It's about controlling what they want to control that has to do with money. That's all it is.
I love how you put salespeople on this list.
Oh, my God. You know what it reminded me of? Especially when I saw that they used what's near and dear to you as ammunition. It's a place called holy cow, what's the name of it? Mavis.
Good guess.
I went for tires. They come back with all these other $1,000, $1,800 worth of stuff.
Tell me they said to protect your son.
No. You don't want to drive with those brakes. You want to go ahead and get the brake job because, I saw the car seat in the back. Yo!
Yep. Fuckers.
They sent 4 different people. Each person had a pitch. And I was like, I'm not buying brakes. I just want you to put my tires on, and that's it.
Oh, my God.
They sent one person was at the register saying something. They sent one person out saying something else. Oh, let me go ask. Then here comes somebody else. Then the final person came. I guess that's the final pitch. Let's talk. Let's throw the kid in there.
Oof.
And it's just like, And then too, I go to Jiffy Lube. Y'all got y'all speech. I got mine. I want an oil and filter change. I don't want nothing else.
I don't need an air filter. No I don't need a cabin wiper. Filter.
I don't want none of that. I don't want no high mileage oil. I want regular oil. And you need a new cabin filter. You don't want to be breathing in all that stuff from outside. You and your I don't need a new cabin filter. Change my oil and filters. I can go home. But they're the ultimate. Even when you go buy,
I'm such an asshole. I go on an advanced auto and I look it up in front of them, right. And I'm like, oh, and I can get a 20% coupon. I'm good.
Right. I'm like, nah. Or I go look and see how much it is. Are y'all overcharging me? Is this $10 at AutoZone? Y'all charge me $22 for it?
That's fucked up.
But salespeople, they are the biggest like they will manipulate you into thinking. I definitely been a victim. And I'm sure I've done it. I think there's been times where, in my relationship, and I've realized I did it and I apologize. But I think there has been a time when something was said to me and I'm like, well, you did that. Well, you said that. Well, you. And then, you come when somebody does it to you, you're like, you know what? It's not about what that person did or said, because when it happened, I ain't say shit.
Right.
So first, let's address what, you're saying I did because that bothered you. So, but I've definitely said, well, you said, well, you did it too. Well, but that's not the point. And when another person did it, you ain't say nothing. So forget it. But salespeople, I remember I went to Toyota. I walked in there. I was like, right now I got this 8-cylinder Cherokee. It's a gas guzzler. I got to get rid of it. The gas is just crazy. I love it, but whatever. I just want a Scion. I just want to get like a little Scion that doesn't take much gas. I just
you walked out of there with the Cherokee?
No, I traded in the Cherokee. I walked out of it with a brand new RAV4.
Oh, that was a nice car though.
It was, but I went in there for a $15,000 possibly pre-owned Scion. I'm like, I don't care which Scion it is. I don't care if it's the hatchback shit, the square box, the toaster.
Oh, we could have been twinsies.
The skate. I don't give a fuck what it is.
Skate.
I just want a little car that's not gonna cost me a fortune in gas. I'm gonna have a high payment. I swear to you, he's like, well, you got good credit. We got a deal on RAV4s. I was like, and then he was like, the RAV4, I got one. I drive it back and forth from Bayonne. I only put $25 worth of gas. It lasts me for the whole week. He was like, you don't want the Scion? But I don't remember what he said. Needless to say, I left with a RAV4. That's like $25,000. I was like, Jesus. But salespeople, I don't know how they sleep at night, but part of it is our own fault because we let them flip that shit and take us for a ride. but the more you buy cars, the more you learn, the more you go in there kind of headstrong. Like that's another thing about knowing who you are and learning as you go along and taking everything as a lesson. Because once you bought a few cars, you're like, cut it, no. I don't want that. I came for this. No. I don't want that. This is what I want. This is what it is. I didn't come for that. I don't want that. I know what I want my payments to be. I know that's it. Like the more you buy cars, the more you kind of cut to the chase with them before they get into all the basically all the gaslighting and all the manipulation in order for you to buy what they want you to buy.
This other article says that gaslighters will discredit you. So, you're stupid. You don't know. Blah, blah, blah. They use a mask of confidence, assertiveness, or fake compassion. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that. You don't give a shit. They change the subject on you a lot. You're imagining things that never happened. They minimize things, minimize how you feel about things. Like, oh, not a big deal. Denial and avoidance. So.
Hoarders.
Hoarders. Yeah. Or they say, I don't remember that. You must have dreamt it. Woof. That'd fire me up. Twisting and reframing. I didn't say that. I said. It's like those are the key things to look for. Because I think sometimes we don't even know we're being gaslit. We definitely don't. And some people may not even know they're doing it, but.
I thought about hoarders when they're like, you're just trying to throw all my stuff away. No, bitch, I'm trying to throw this garbage away. This stuff's not junk. You're just trying to, you just want to throw everything away. You just want to get rid of my stuff. You don't care. You don't love me. You don't. And it's like, I be watching the show Hoarders. I'm just like, yo, this lady wanted to save a rock, B.
What?
A rock. Her friend took that rock and threw that shit down the street and was like, I'm done. And walked off. But this lady was seriously like, and it was another man. He was like, y'all came in here. And he basically was telling the hoarder people, like the staff, like the staff from Hoarders, you said you were going to do this, but you ain't do that. So I'm not going to clean up now. And the man was like, that's not what I said. That's not what I told you we was going to do. You said this, and this was my response, and that's what we agreed on. And he's like, no. I said this. And you said you were going, it's going to be all or nothing. It's going to be all, you said this. And he was just going back and forth with this man. I'm like, sir, you know goddamn well that man is. And the man is furious. The hoarder staff is furious because he's like, that's not what we talked about. That's not what was said. And this man basically trying to tell him he said something just because he don't want to clean up his damn house.
Do you think that, like, maybe not kids, but, like, more like adults, especially when it comes to hoarders, do you think that, like... So, like, in Hoarders, I've seen situations where, like, I think they threw out, like, a house or something. Not a house, like a dollhouse or something, a playhouse. Mm-hmm. And the guy, like, lost his shit and had, like, a temper tantrum. Like, do you think that's gaslighting?
I think it's a way of making you feel bad.
Yeah, it's like a way of manipulation.
For throwing away something that they know they don't have no use for. But it's like, if I really go off, it'll make me seem like I really was connected to that. And it's like, in their minds, they are connected to it. But seriously, if something's been sitting somewhere for 20 years and you haven't moved it or touched it or thought about it or did anything you said you were going to do with it, like, what's really going on here?
So in 1938, there was a play called Gaslight. And a man tries to convince his wife that her mind is unraveling when she notices that he's dimmed the gas lights in the house. He tells her that she's imagining things. They're as bright as they were before. Damn. The British play became a 1944 American film starring Ingrid Bergman as the heroine and Paula and Charles Boyer as Gregory, her abusive, crazy-making husband.
If I remember Ingrid Bergman correctly, she was gorgeous.
Damn, poor girl. I mean, she was an actress, but... They're saying that's like what it meant. Well, I mean, it still means the same thing, but that's where it came, a part of where it came from. Uh-huh. And today, gaslight means to overwrite someone's reality. So they're trying. I just looked up like famous gaslighters. There's on the headline picture it says Donald Trump, gaslighter extraordinaire. And if you don't believe that.
He says something. So I was watching this documentary called After Maria about the Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. It's only 37 minutes. I don't know why it seemed longer. It was the last thing I watched before I went to bed, and I went to bed depressed.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But it was 37 minutes, but it was a powerful 37 minutes. I'm sure they'd had to do a lot of editing to get it down to 37 minutes, but...
They could have given us a good hour.
When he was talking about... He was in Puerto Rico, sitting at the table, and he's talking about Hurricane Maria... And then he starts telling them about the people from Hurricane Katrina.
Like they had it worse than you?
That's basically how it sounds.
Get the fuck out of here.
And I was just like, what? And then he said something like, well, the reason why, God, I can't remember what he said. I was like, what the fuck? He was like, well, and that's the reason why things are, going the way they're going when they could have gone the way they gone. Something crazy like that. And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, are you really saying this out loud to people? Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And he was like, when you think about, those people were like resilient. He didn't use the word resilient, and then he was like, so you guys did good considering how it could have gone. Something like that, he said. Considering how it could have gone, these people don't have no damn house. I said, this man crazy. And I mean, I knew Donald Trump was on some other shit when he sat there throwing paper towels at them people.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
I mean, and the people with him, I probably would have been fired because I think I would have said, Mr. Trump, President Trump, can I talk to you for a minute? Why are you throwing paper towels at these people? They don't have no house. What they gonna do with the paper towels? What they gonna do with it? What are they gonna do? Where they going?
This is like going through different scenarios. One of them was about Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. I didn't go into that one. Mm-hmm. But they said actress Gabby Sidibe recently tweeted that a taxi refused her service because she was black. Someone tweeted back, "How do you know?" Someone else responded to the response, "You question her to create doubt. It's gaslighting." Oh, it's hashtag gaslighting. One of the oldest tricks used by racists. It's a good point, though. I mean, like, why? That's how she felt.
And the thing
why are you taking that away from her?
And the thing is, if you're not giving me a service without me opening my mouth, what other reason do you have besides how I look?
Right.
Now, certain things can be how you're dressed. I don't think that taxi ride had anything to do with how you dress. But I can see if you go in somewhere that says you must wear shirt and shoes in here, and you go in there without shirt and shoes.
Right.
And they're looking at you like, we're not going to give you service because you came in here barefoot with no shirt on. That probably doesn't have anything to do with race. You blatantly broke the rules. But if you're just standing somewhere and say, if I call an Uber and the Uber pull up to me and keep going, well, the only thing you see about me is A, I'm a woman, and B, I'm black.
Right.
So which one is the reason you ain't... Okay, it could be that you're not picking me up because I'm a woman, but I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. So, I mean, what does being a woman have to do with getting in your car? I mean, history shows that, it's probably the other reason. But I think, too, people call people snowflakes and tell them they're whining. And I think all those things are gaslighting that make you feel like you shouldn't be saying something about something that's clearly probably most... 9 times out of 10 racist.
So, there's 10 movies here about gaslighting and unhealthy relationships. 1, Mrs. Doubtfire. Divorced dad dresses up as an old lady to spy on his kids and ex-wife while trying to sabotage her new relationship. Holy moly, good thing it's only a movie. Girl on the Train.
And he made her feel like she was overreacting about him being irresponsible.
Right. Girl on the Train says, One Wild Ride, pun intended, the book, which is frankly better than the movie, but I digress. Emily Blunt plays Rachel, an alcoholic who has healed from her divorce without spoiling too much. Okay, fuck it, I'm spoiling it. Because that movie was fucking gaslighting 101.
If you ain't seen it by now, you ain't gonna...
Right, yeah, really. Turn your radio down for 3 seconds. That movie was gaslighting. She thought that she was really drunk and alcoholic and crazy until she runs into his boss and says, "I'm really sorry I embarrassed you that night." And she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
That's not what happened. What happened? I forget. It was her husband. Something happened with her husband, right?
Because and this is Girl on the Train.
Right.
Because he left her for the realtor.
But do you remember the part?
But he was making her seem like she was doing things because she was drunk. But she wasn't doing the things he said when she was drunk.
Right.
He was making it like, "Oh, you punched me. You punched that hole in the wall."
And he was hitting her and beating her.
Right. But she woke up not remembering shit. So he told her that
she was a horrible person while she was drunk.
Right. He narrated the story for her because she couldn't remember. So she assumed he was telling her the truth.
The movie Passengers with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence.
I didn't see that.
I kind of remember something at the end. Oh, What Lies Beneath?
Oh yeah, trying to make her seem like she crazy when the ghosts and stuff. Yep. You just sad because the daughters went to college.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Oh yeah. Enough. Fear, which they're remaking. I'm not sure why, but I'll watch it because I love that movie.
Flowers in the Attic.
That's April's favorite movie. I swear to God.
Eat the cookie. My son reminded me of that movie. His dad brought Tostitos, and he's like, "Eat the chip, mommy. Eat the chip." I was like, "What the fuck is this? Flowers in the attic?"
Oh my
God. I was like, "Okay, Jesus."
You're like having flashbacks. Sleeping with the Enemy, my favorite.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely.
The movie Gaslight from 1944. I want to watch it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on Cody.
Ingrid Bergman, she was good.
Oh, yeah, she is pretty.
Yeah.
She looks a little,
It's somebody, it was somebody,
Did it go? Oh.
It was somebody, like a newer generation actress that they said looks like Ingrid Bergman. I can't think of who it is.
I don't know. Double Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite movies too.
And Overboard. Definitely. He made her think that.
I think I only saw that once or twice.
He made her think that, depending on which version you saw, the new version or this version, but he made her think that she was suffering from amnesia, and she was his wife, and he basically used her as like a slave.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah.
But then they fell in love. He still gaslit her though.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, "I feel like this doesn't belong." And he's like, "No, you're crazy."
Yes, it does.
That's not my mom. Such a good movie. Damn, those are all really good movies. See, we didn't even think they were being gaslit. We were just like enjoying the ride.
We were just Sleeping with the Enemy though. We knew shit was fucked up in that house. When somebody make you think you gotta turn on the can space front, bitch, you being gas lit the fuck up. Like,
that's a fire.
All this shit do not need to face front for our lives to be okay.
The hand towels were uneven. She's having a panic attack.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, shit don't need to be perfect for us to be okay. Like, stop it. Yeah, I think Sleeping with the Enemy, we knew. Like,
she gaslit his ass though. She's like, I can't swim.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They're like, she was at the Y. I'm like, ha! She got you back. Man.
She was one of our best swimmers. This bitch ain't dead.
Such a good, if you didn't see Sleep with the Enemy, shoot yourself. No, I'm kidding. But
yeah, that movie's old. We ain't ruining it.
I've seen it like 50 times this year.
If you haven't seen it, you're probably not gonna watch it then, because.
And if you didn't see it and you want to watch it, there's another version on Netflix with Taye Diggs, which is equally as good to watch.
That's funny.
Maybe not equally. I'm overselling it. It was good.
It was good. Cause dude that played in Sleeping with the Enemy was way scarier than.
Yeah, that dude was kind of fine.
And Taye Diggs, I love Taye Diggs. I know he was a Broadway actor, but he ain't got nothing on dude and Sleeping with the Enemy with the beard.
No.
Singing in the
When you're a jet all the way. I was like he looks so cute and innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Take his apples.
That was
all gaslighting.
Huh, interesting.
If you're being gaslit, run. No, remind yourself.
Run and then hit us up at Bed Love Beyond and tell us what happened.
But remind yourself who you are, like April said. Write down positive I am statements. I am, strong. I am independent. I don't need this shit. Stuff like that.
I'm not a bad person. I'm not
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear him say that.
I am right 99.2% of the time.
And don't take shit. Read the articles. See if you're being gaslit. There should be a quiz. I'm gonna see if there's a quiz and put it online. But be safe, because gaslighters sometimes turn into sociopaths. And I really don't say that jokingly. I'm laughing, but it's so serious.
Yeah, it really is some borderline sociopath, crazy abusive shit going on.
I mean, even the kid who I got a restraining order, he used to be like, "You made me sad, that's why I got drunk." Fuck you. Rest in peace, but fuck you. I mean,
you was getting drunk way before I came along,
right?
Because that wouldn't be your solution for being sad if you wasn't already doing it.
But I at that point was like definitely strong enough to know that you're just being fucking delusional,
right?
And I'm like, I mean, I didn't run as fast as I should have run, but I mean,
and I think the main thing too is to ask yourself, if somebody says I did this because you said that or you did that, like, ask yourself, do you have control in any other part of their life? Did they do anything else because you say do it? Probably not.
I feel like one time my boyfriend got like really mad about something, one of his tired rages, and he's like, I'm so mad, blah, 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 blah. You did this. I said, oh, you did this. I can't make you like that.
Yeah.
You did this. You're crabby. You're tired. Lay your ass down and go to sleep. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Right.
I didn't do this.
Whatever is inside of you that has an issue with whatever made you mad.
Right.
I can't make you mad.
Not like that, because you should be able to control it.
Right.
I didn't sit there and keep poking at you with something and like fucking press buttons. I just said something you didn't like, and you're tired, and now you're fucking being extra about it. Yeah. Have a seat, go to sleep. Like, fuck that.
But when somebody try to say something, they did something. That's like saying you got control of me.
Right.
I'm doing this because you did that. But when people say that to you, ask yourself, do you do anything else because I say so? Probably not. You don't do nothing else I tell you to do. So
give me 50 grand.
Right. So when I tell you to clean up or you need to do this or do that, you don't want to listen. So now all of a sudden, because it's a bad thing or something you should have done, now that's my fault.
Right.
You don't listen to me no other time. So don't try to make it like I'm controlling you this time. No.
Yeah. The Ted Bundy movie, though, I was like, we got to do gaslighting. We might have done it before. Doing it again. Because I'm sure Ted Bundy wasn't the last famous gaslighter. And Zac Efron is nice to look at, but if you weren't sure what gaslighting is, you can watch any of those 10 movies or the Zac Efron Ted Bundy movie, Evil,
Shockingly Evil
and Vile, something like that. I thought it was going to be gorier. Verbally it was gorier, and at the end they showed some like pretty gross pictures, but it wasn't like the title kind of like made me think I was going to see him like in the act. But anything else, April?
That's it.
All right, guys. Good luck. Peace.